Hello, everyone, and I'm here with Gino
Hello.
at FHIR DevDays, and as you know, he is also a very famous YouTuber who's covering a lot of concepts on FHIR. I'll put a link to your channel down in the description below. So Gino, so you're working at Microsoft.
Yes.
What exactly do you do?
So we're actually in a very fun group in research, and our mission is to improve digital healthcare. And so this was from the top down. They got together and said, if we can improve healthcare in everyone's cloud and get everyone moving forward, there's other groups that we can work on and take advantage of that. And so they thought it would be not quite fair if the same product groups were coming here and trying to talk with everyone equally and evenly and everything else, and want to make sure that everyone could say, nope, their entire focus is on helping healthcare, and they are kind of blocked off so we don't sneak anything past any groups or anything like that. And so, yeah.
This is pretty impressive for a commercial company to allocate a separate division which is not also working on the product.
Yes.
I think it's commendable. That is Microsoft the only company doing this?
I would assume there are others, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Most of the people we engage with have some product responsibility and some, standards responsibility.
Right.
And our group is entirely focused on standards and interop and making these things happen.
Right. So Gino, what are you excited about? What are the things that you're working on right now?
Oh man, what am I excited about? So right now, one of the big things I'm working on are the cross-version extensions. And that is, we're in an interesting space because years ago, community defined what we think they should look like, and people have been using them. And now it's rubber meets the road time, and we actually have to build all of them. Mm-hmm. And so it's a lot of fun. I like doing a lot of code generation and things like that. So that's a lot of the other things I'm working with FHIR, great group of people. And we're working on the C SDK. Mm-hmm. And so we have a lot of fun things like doing code generation for IGs so that it makes things easier to use. And it's really, as the theme is this year, trying to get more things into production and lower the bars for developers and improve scalability, improve performance, all this kind of stuff. So I think between those two, I think those are probably the most fun things that I'm working on right now.
Right. So you do have a talk later talking about the, the code generator for the IGs.
Yes.
So what exactly, as a developer who is
yes.
Interested in implementing FHIR,
yes.
What are they getting?
So when it's finished, because I was hoping to have it all finished, but it's not quite there yet. But there's a lot of talks here, and even I have another session talking about how to author things better for mm-hmm. developers. But this is attacking it from the other side. So this is saying I have an implementation guide, and I don't know if you've implemented any, mm-hmm. but you're constantly looking up pages and trying to copy URLs, and then right. there's a value set, and so you're following that link, and you're trying to find the codes, and so you're just typing in constants, and then you figure out, oh, I should put these in a class somewhere, and all this kind of stuff. And so that's really what we're trying to attack in this, is saying, hey, take this IG, give me all the extension URLs, give me all the profile URLs, give me the extension accessors, give me profile slicing accessors, all these different types of things that lower the bar as developers so that we can use, .NET in general. And then also I like doing things in Blazor and Avalonia and things like that. And when you start building the UI components, it's really nice to have all of those things as like first class citizens in your structures.
Right. Does this
yes.
mean, a developer can automatically generate forms or applications from an IG?
Hopefully. We're not going to be quite there yet in this pass. And the biggest thing is actually a super exciting feature announced for C# 13, which is that we can add properties, extension properties. When I say extension, C# extension properties.
Okay.
And that way, right now the accessors show up as C# extensions, so you can use patient.uscore whatever or questionnaire.sdc whatever. But once C# 13 is out, then we'll be able to actually put those as non-serializable properties because they already have definitions as extensions.
Okay.
And you can directly use those models then to generate WinUI forms or Blazor forms or whatever your heart's content. That's
really interesting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a developer does not need to read an IG at all, and they just work with programming constraints and the class is generated?
Yes, and well, yes and no. Obviously, you still want to read the IG and you still want to have all those things, but a lot of the things we have focused on are things like pulling through all of those descriptions and conformance requirements and the types and all that stuff into summaries and remarks in all these definitions, so that hopefully we can do it less. And so that's the idea, is if you can see, what clearly the extension definition is and where you're allowed to use it, and it has extensions that only let you use it in those places, yes, you still want to go read the IG, but it's lowering the bar a lot, hopefully.
Got it. So for the audience who are listening,
Yes.
where can they find all of this work?
So definitely in the DevDays talk and everything, there's a slide deck. There's aka.ms/ginoc/dex, where I put all of my content. So the deck that I use to present that will be here. The repo it's in is on GitHub in the Microsoft organization.
I'll put it down in the description. Yep.
FHIR Code Gen. Right now it's still in the experimental branch, because it is still experimental. We will hopefully be able to merge it over soon, but there's also this, and we're doing a lot of things concurrently, and so one of the things is we've completely rewritten the code generator so that it uses the FHIR.net SDK underneath, which makes it more accessible to people, because then you're just using structure definition and element definition, and as we layer on C# extensions to do things like actually getting types and navigating things properly. So it's in the experimental branch. Hopefully it'll be merged over soon, but it'll probably be at least a few more weeks, since we have to make sure we didn't break anything in any language.
Yeah. Is it a we activity or is this you?
Depends on the context. There are a lot of we's. So, for instance, the FHIR team, Avalonia in particular, does a lot of things. There's a lot of someone, and I don't remember which company he's from. Almost Christian is his GitHub handle. He submits fantastic PRs. So he's been working on some of those things. When we shift over to TypeScript, then Brian Caney does a lot of work back and forth with me, who I think I don't remember that he was with Vermonster, but I think that's FHIR now. No, maybe not.
No, there's something.
I don't remember. So editing, hey! But Brian Caney does a lot, and let's see. When we switch over to Open API stuff, the FHIR team's been very engaged. The production teams at Microsoft's been very engaged, and so as we go through the different parts, there is more and more community involvement, which is awesome. So it's fun stuff.
So I think Microsoft Research, you guys have been doing a lot. I think Josh has been part of the same thing, and you've been just going at it nonstop.
Yes.
So anything else that you're really excited about and want to talk about?
I guess. As you know, our team is myself, Josh Mandel, and Brian Postlethwaite. So he's on the team as well, and there's a lot of fun stuff that we're working on. In the context, Brian has a lot of fun stuff with FHIR and looking at generative AI and some of these types of things, which is a lot of fun to play with. Josh has been doing, a lot of the AI stuff with reviewing his full patient record and unstructured data that you actually get from healthcare providers. That's a lot of fun. And just as we look towards R6, all of us are working feverishly on trying to figure out what kinds of things we need to apply and include and make normative. And a lot of work, but we'll get there.
Excellent. So do you have any specific repository where all of Microsoft Research's healthcare work can be found?
No, we do not. We do have one that is, I would need to look up the name, I believe it is Microsoft Healthcare Madison /team, and that one has our team being very open. We do everything. We do our OKRs and what type of work we're working on. We put it all in GitHub. It's all there in Markdown.
Okay.
We score ourselves in public there on GitHub. And then we do try to maintain a list of some of the more interesting projects we work on and repositories that we work on and everything there. So that has a pretty good list of those things. And again, it's hard to cover in such a short time. A lot of the work we're doing with Argonaut project. There's the glucose monitoring stuff that to me is, as we talk about trying to actually change patients' lives.
I think Josh is working feverishly on that as well.
He's the PM on that project, and so we all kind of like to contribute across all these things as much as possible. And so it's really interesting, really good stuff, and hopefully we can make the world a little better.
Excellent. Yeah, you should start making more videos.
Yes, I had some personal things that got me off track with recording them, and hopefully in a couple weeks, because I'm on vacation after Dev Days, and so hopefully in a few weeks I will start up recording again.
Yes, and you can find Gino's channel in the description down below. And thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right.
Cheers.